Welcome to the Elite 100 Mastermind. Great to see you guys here this week. If we could throw those cameras on, that would be amazing. Got some general announcements as always. Why don't we start with some wins to get the energy up? Who's got some wins? I know Jeremy does. I see you posting all kinds of wins in the chat, brother.
Thanks, man. I try my best to win every day at something, even if it's small. And today, my wife got a new person to meet with that she's working on the healing, and that's what she's doing right now. So that was a big win for our family. We always love when we meet new people that she gets to pour her time and energy into.
Love it, love it, love it. Lenny, what about you, bud?
I think my win is the fact that I'm so happy and grateful that I'm able to take this body and go swim every morning and enjoy every stroke of it. That's a big win.
Nice. Yeah. For those who don't know, Len used to be, well, I guess you always are, but a century, what do they call it? A century, not a century marathon, but a Ironman.
Ironman.
Triathlete.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, Jeremy and I had talked about that.
very cool.
I sent him some info about that.
Yeah, that's no joke. No joke. I love it. Great win. Dan, what about you, bud? What's a good win?
Me? What's not a good win?
That's a good answer. Love it, love it, love it. Life is good.
Life is good.
All right, all right. Why don't we do this? Do you mind reading the mastermind principles for us to lead us off if I share the screen?
Not at all. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this blessed day and for allowing us to come together in a spirit of harmony to mastermind for the benefit of all our mastermind members, our families, and for the good of mankind. We ask that you bless this mastermind group today and every day forward. We release ourselves to the mastermind because we are strong when we have others to help us. We believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond our own. We understand that we will more easily create positive results in our lives when we are open to looking at ourselves, our challenges, and our opportunities from another's point of view. We decide to release our desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and we are open to accepting new possibilities. We forgive ourselves for mistakes we have made. We also forgive others who have wronged us in the past so we can move into the future with a clean slate. We ask God and our mastermind family to hear what we really want, our goals, our dreams, our desires, and we hear our mastermind partners supporting us in our fulfillment. We accept. We know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to our every need. We are grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. We now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply us with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. We dedicate ourselves to be of maximum service to the world and our fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. We go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. I like the new beginning.
Yeah. It's as we evolve and we get closer to God, I wanted to throw some love his way. I think it's a good way to start, to really acknowledge God and what we're really trying to do in this mastermind. It's not just this is not just a money-making mastermind. It's an improvement of hopefully all mankind as we move on together. So a little bit of housekeeping, guys. Again, you're all welcome to join the Thinking and Results on Monday nights. I see a lot of you there. It's a good refresher. We have a Realtor Masterclass coming this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's a free class. We're going to niche down for realtor mindset. I think it's been a really challenging year for realtors and brokers. So becoming a top agent mindset, I think it's going to be really, really good value, help a lot of people. And Val's going to she already did. She threw a link in the chat there. If you know anybody that's a broker or realtor, just kind of give back and help some out. the content that we are reading. Hopefully you guys all started Power of the Subconscious Mind. I saw a lot of stuff in the chat where a lot of you guys have downloaded to start to read it and stuff. We'll be masterminding on that in the upcoming weeks here. And that book is one of the first ones that Bob recommended. It was one of his top 10 books. If you look at the thinking and results, if you look at the content that Bob studied, that was a key book. Man's Search for Meaning was another one. U Squared was another one. He had a lot of books. Obviously, Think and Grow Rich was the main one, but Power of the Subconscious Mind was one of Bob's top 10 books. So today we're going to be having a hot seat. I want to see Mr. Eric's coming in, Eric Markarian. And for those of you that are new, the hot seat is when we all pour into one member. I think it's one of the most valuable things we can do. And if you've been with us for a while, you can request a hot seat at any time. If you have a challenge, a business challenge, it could be a health challenge, a family challenge. We're all here to support each other. And I think this is one of the most powerful things we do. And if you're new, it's not, the hot seat's maybe not a great name. Maybe it sounds a little intimidating, but it's really not. You're letting people know a little bit about your background, where you're at, your current businesses, and what challenges you need help with. So Eric's jumping in here now, and looks like he's logging in. I'll make him a co-host. He was texting me right at the beginning. He just got a new Zoom. So Eric, can
He's
you hear
in.
it? Yeah. Mr. Markarian. He's just connecting to audio here. We'll give him a second. Eric, can you hear us, bud? He's having a little tech challenge. Yep, he's definitely having a tech challenge. Val, can you give him a phone call and help him get in, or because I think he just downloaded Zoom and I think you lost the invite. What we can do now, let me while we're waiting for him, let me open up Power of the Subconscious Mind and we'll mastermind on that until he joins us. Just give me a second. Let's see. Oh, I think he's jumping back in. We'll just give him a second here. Bear with me, guys. If you guys want to get a water or coffee or something. Hey, Joe, what's happening, bud? We're just waiting for Eric to jump into his hot seat. How you been? You still out in Hawaii?
Yeah, I just got back again yesterday from the Genius Network in Phoenix, where our company just sponsored the event.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back in Hawaii.
Did you move out there? Or?
No, we have a place out here, a couple of like Airbnbs, and we come here during usually November, December, and part of January.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Should be jumping in, Bry.
Did you get a hold of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Hi, Eric.
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, there we go.
What's
happening,
I'm sorry, guys. You can't make this up. I'm literally at my wit's end with trying to get something that will work.
No worries, no worries. I prepped everybody for what a hot seat is and what's going on. So if you want to just get into a little bit of kind of where you're at, the business challenge you have in front of you, and then we'll open up and pour into you to see if we can help out.
Absolutely. And thank you for allowing me this opportunity to do this. This is what's awesome about the Elite 100, and the hot seat doesn't always have to be about your business. It can be your current problems, like you said. I heard everything you said. I just couldn't respond.
Oh.
So thank you. other than being an electrical contractor in Massachusetts and Florida, in my spare time, I like to develop multi-million-dollar buildings that don't go well. So what Brian asked me to do was to talk about my current challenge, and that is during the pandemic, I decided with two partners, which isn't Ara Barsumi, and two other partners, which I wish was Ara. We decided to go into an endeavor and restore a historical property in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. It's a project that's kind of almost never been done before of this caliber in Chestnut Hill. And I wanted to just show a little bit of the property. I have two separate 1-minute video clips that kind of will demonstrate what this property is all about. The property is located, it's called the Hammond House, and it's located in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, and it's a 1645 construction.
Oh, wow.
And so the house is, last time I did the math, it's been a 4-year project. It's 378 years old. So here we go.
You should be able to do screen share.
Yep. And everything's on YouTube. The property's got a lot of publicity.
Oh, wow.
And it's got tens of thousands of views. And I had this all prepared on my laptop, which is not helping me at all right now. So I'm going to show you a listing of the property. This is the before.
It's just an old school colonial. Oh, it's okay. It's built out in the back too. So Eric, was the original purchase price around 3? Eric, can you still hear us?
Yep, I hear you.
Was the original purchase price? It says priced at 2.5. Is that what the original price was, or?
No, this listing was 6 years ago.
Okay.
And our original purchase was 1.5.
Okay.
Okay. Did that all come through properly?
Yep. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the original condition.
That was the original condition. That's exactly what it looked like when we bought it in March of 2020. Our closing was a week after the pandemic hit the whole world. So now I'm going to get out of here and show you the current. Oh, and I'll kill the audio. So,
Eric, you should have put a drum roll right here.
all right.
Oh, wow. Must you have it fully staged and everything, yeah?
Wow, great work, brother.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's gotta be a fit for somebody who's like a historian. That's beautiful. Holy cow.
Eric, how come we didn't see the music room when it finished? Eric, can you hear us?
I hear you.
How come we didn't see the music room in the finish?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's really what showing it.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. What the hell's going on? The music room was in the beginning of the video.
Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna go into, everybody here has an element of construction background. This was a complete rotisserie, complete gut down to the studs renovation. So the project snowballed, of course. It was the pandemic. It was supposed to be a better than lipstick job. And then as the pandemic grew, the market prices continued to increase. So we decided to continue to spend more money. But we never realized every time we made a change, it resulted in a historical commission meeting. We had 19 of those that we had to be represented by an attorney and a historian and what have you.
Oh,
everything's done. February of this year was the completion of the project, and it still has not been sold. It's coming on 10 months. A little history about this area. This is about a half an acre worth of land. In this area of Massachusetts, a quarter acre would go for $1.5 million by itself. A half an acre by itself would easily sell for $3 million, and people would put on it a $2 or $3 million home and sell for $7, $8, $9 million, right? We were a little ambitious and greedy when we first listed the property, because the message was that it's not just a piece of real estate in Massachusetts, it's a piece of history. It is one of some of the news articles that it's one of the 20th oldest houses in the whole country. And it is the oldest house in Newton, Massachusetts. So it holds the first place as one of the oldest. And we thought we had it listed for 8.9 million, with everybody being on board about it back then, in February of 2023. Now, fast forward all this time, the monthly burn rate on this property is killing me personally. I'm the biggest investor. I have everything you can imagine tied up into this property. So we went through many price reductions. We broke all the real estate rules why you're not supposed to reduce the price, but now it's survival mode, and the property is listed for 575 right now, 5,750,000. We're in our fourth modification of the loan from the original construction loan, and the bank really, really would like to get out of this deal. And, so would everybody involved. So unfortunately, you learn from your past and your mistakes. I believe if we had spent $100,000 on marketing, this would have been a deal. And I know all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, but now it's looking for advice. Our listing agreement with these brokers ends on New Year's Eve, on December 31st of this year, and I'm looking for a miracle. And with everything going on, I am in the total state of gratitude still. And I know that this is it is what it is. If I lose this money, I still have my family and my health and everything, and I have you guys. So it's just another notch on the belt of don't do this again.
Hey, Eric, it's Jeff Rubin. I just texted an agent friend in Boston, and he has clients who he thinks might be interested. Can I introduce you on a text?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, there has to be a buyer for this. There's people that just really, really geek out about history, especially in Massachusetts. I mean, there's a lot of countrywide history that comes into Massachusetts. This is 100% a marketing issue. 100%.
Totally. I mean, isn't it a beautiful house?
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And like I said, there's people that are just history buffs and have FU money. They would buy it just to own it. You know, it's
right.
It's definitely 100% marketing. Val?
Yep.
Eric, I'm just wondering, what are you doing for advertising for it?
The current real estate group has done some cute little Instagrams of like they're wearing historian clothes. According to them, they're hitting. There's a database in Massachusetts of people who have currently or past owned historical homes. They claim they're reaching out to those people. They reach out to Boston College, who's literally across the street. You can see the admin building sign from the yard. Facebook, Instagram.
What, anything internationally?
According to the brokers, they have international exposure. It's Caldwell Bankers, so they have it's being listed. It's being seen. The videos, tens of thousands of hits on Instagram. It's being seen by so many people. I just can't believe that the unicorn buyer is that hard to find.
It's stunning. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, no, it's definitely bragging rights, but you know, once it's all done, I'll definitely appreciate it.
So, Ara?
You guys should see when Eric was gracious enough to host a couple of fundraisers there, and every person who came in had their mouths wide open. It was just, I couldn't believe how well it's transformed and what great vision that Eric had. So I'm puzzled why it hasn't sold yet myself.
Crazy. Crazy. Laura is
Eric-
asking if marketing isn't affecting. There's probably a glitch, and she asked how many times it's been viewed. I think there was 38,000 views on Instagram. And when the realtor gives us back data from when it's released on Zillow, and it's always in the thousands.
I think she means like how often has it actually been physically shown?
Oh, geez, hundreds of times, hundreds. And I think what's happening is people are embarrassed to do an insulting offer. And I think that people are like, wow, we know they're asking this, but we don't, you know, I feel like the last 2 years has all been about people's personalities and them afraid, they're being afraid of making an offer that might be embarrassing, which it wouldn't have been.
Eric, one thing that comes to my mind, I don't know if you're looking at switching realtors, but maybe instead that's like Caldwell Baker's kind of a mainstream, right? Compared to like maybe like an Engels and Volker, somebody that really has massive international.
100%. And we met some great people from Engel and Volkers who have international exposure. That would be probably the next move.
Okay, yeah.
But
Who was the person you used to use, Brian, in that company? What was that big company? They always dealt with high-end homes.
Yeah, it'll come to me. I know you're talking about. There's a couple of
I can see the sign.
yeah, it'll come to me.
Sotheby's, potentially.
What was that, Kev?
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's, somebody typed that. There was another one it'll come to me. It's William Ravis. Yeah, that might be another one because they, like I said, they just deal in the higher end, unique. And you know, Val hit it on the head. It might be somebody international that comes in as a second home or something like that.
Berkshire Hathaway.
That's another one, yeah. Blake
There's
says
no-
in the chat there, he argues for putting price negotiable in the listing.
yeah, I literally gave the realtors marching orders saying the seller is extremely motivated, no offers to, you know, just literally imagine it's crazy. We got one offer, but it's pitiful. It's from BC, from Boston College, who basically they want to steal the property for less than I have into it. You know,
Eric,
hey Kevin,
are there commercial possibilities there, like a bed and breakfast, to turn into like revenue based property and refinance it? I know that's not the ideal strategy.
Totally. We entertain renting it out as a whole. It would never cut the mortgage. Interest only payments are 24,000 a month. Principal and interest would be in the 40s. The revenue would never be there.
What about a bed and breakfast style, like Airbnb, boutique?
Yeah,
I mean, the place
would be
is
great right near the
stunning.
college.
Yeah, something we never thought about a bed and breakfast, but we thought about an Airbnb.
I don't think the neighborhood's going to allow it.
No, I don't think the neighborhood would allow it. And Newton has a specific rule about Airbnbs in Newton, about how long it could be and stuff like that.
Is that true?
But Eric,
Okay.
so my thought is instead of an Airbnb, because I also am in the luxury real estate market, and I own an island in the British Virgin Islands with Brittany Turner. It's a very similar burn rate, and the the solution that I found is grouping and connecting with mastermind events, Eric, where people rent out the whole house or rent out the location or rent out the essentially, let's just say the location. You reach out to a nice high end, let's call it the Elite 100, and go, hey guys, can you have an event here? And they spend money to have the event at your home. But like if you do that once a month, depending on the level of place, like that can at least stop the burn or stop the absolute hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
Where it's essentially just reaching out to the big groups of people that need to have meeting spaces somewhere, because the house looks stunning, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so, I mean, at $40,000, like if that's the total nut that you got to cover for a month, it's like if you did 10,000 a day, right, and try to find 4 or 5 days, like that's not outrageous. Even if it's $5,000 a day, it's not outrageous to try to find a couple of masterminds or high end events that would have an event there.
Yeah, it's great. I reached out to a couple of event planners, and we had one Halloween party, and the theme was 1700s, and it rented for a few hours for like $3,500 on. But we're gonna have to do something like that. But the amount of pressure on the bank right now is unbearing, and I need to. They don't want to stay on any longer.
Gotcha.
It's like I would need to get out of it, even to cover the original loan, just to get out of it, to be a breather. But
gotcha. So it's not even a rent issue. It's not even an income issue. It's really just the banking. Like we need the bank to.
They've been very cooperative throughout the whole time. They don't want to do anything drastic either. I'm in constant communication with them daily. I'm into it for $5 million.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's barely break even.
Right. Understand.
Yeah.
Are other listings in this price point moving, or is it just
this area here supports houses? Good question. There's one in the area for 24 million. I don't think they're moving fast. I think that this is just a problem. I don't think there's a problem with the house. I think it's the where we are right now with the interest rates. I know rates shouldn't affect people of this caliber anyway, but I think that everybody's just being cautious.
So it was finished in February of last year.
This year,
and listed around the same time. So you did have a spring season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking maybe if you could hold on until March of next year, that maybe you'd obviously see the usual seasonal buyer traffic pickup.
If I had time on our side, we would take it off the market and put it back and add another $1 million to it, and that it should really sell for in the high 6s, low 7s all day long. But it's at I need to be in survival mode price right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just came down last week from 6,999 to 5,999 to 575. So we just took it down to $250,000.
Eric, this probably goes without saying, but obviously, what we're doing in the Elite 100, the mindset part of it, right? The morning routine, the nightly routine, the energy you're putting towards it. And you said you had 2 other partners?
Yes.
How is their energy around this?
Well, one is John, who which his energy is good, and the other one is the guy that has a black cloud that follows him all over the world. The worst of the worst happens to this poor guy and his whole family. It's like, that's the partner we have.
So it might be a little bit of a lift.
Eric,
you and John sitting down with that person and showing them a little bit about the metaphysics of what's going on, because that could be the problem. Having dark mindset, dark energy around this thing, instead of just being, like you said, you're grateful to have your family, your business, your friends, us. I mean, you're in a state of gratitude, so it's probably not your energy, but it could very well be the other person's energy.
Totally. I confronted him about a year ago, and I said, man, this is, not to blame someone for what's happening, but you need to be a little more positive. And he's aware of the group, and he's aware of you, Brian, and he knows Ara, and he knows that this is where my mind is. He tries, but he just attracts that negative stuff.
Yeah, he's got to work on a daily cadence, just like going to the gym, something, something for that. So we can chat offline about that.
Sure.
Val?
I totally
All right.
believe in this. Some people think I'm crazy, but I totally believe in it. Did you go get a St. Joseph statue and you need to bury it upside down?
Yep. It was given to me by my realtor, Maureen. It's buried there, and I have a
I've heard
box
of
in my
that.
truck.
Okay.
He did everything you can imagine.
Valerie, I have two of them on my other property that's for sale, and
Yeah.
I think they're coming out of the ground. I know you're supposed to put their head down. They're just popping up and saying, "I'm done with you."
Yep. I did it. I did the St. Joseph statue facing down, and I have a rock on top of it.
Oh, maybe that's why. Take that rock off.
I need to know where it's going to be, so you have to dig it up and put it in the next deal, right?
That's right.
Yeah, you're
That's what I
supposed to dig
heard.
it up
Yeah.
after.
I'll never find it in this yard.
But there's a specific place you're supposed to put it in the yard, like
Yep.
facing north or some, I forget what it is.
Facing
but-
east. No,
East.
facing west or something. Yeah.
Jeff, you have advice or comment?
Yeah, I know you said you already kind of taught the Boston College, but could you get $5,000 per room? Because we do a bunch of projects where people rent per room to colleges and they do very well. It's a beautiful place. You might be able to get more, like $5,000-6,000 per room. I know if I sent my kids, I wouldn't mind paying that to let them stay there. It might be a good way to generate
That's a
some
great
income.
idea. That's actually.
And then if you want to flip it once it's an investment to you, and now it's worth the 8-9 million, someone like us would buy it if you're showing good cash flow coming into the college.
That's a great idea.
Not to put the kibosh on this, sorry guys, in Boston, there's a rule of 4 unrelated people no more than 4 unrelated people can live in the same property. So you can only get 4 of those rooms rented. Trust me.
How many bedrooms is it?
7.
7. Oh.
And they're all huge.
You can't go for a variance or anything on that, Ara? There's no way he can get around that. There's got to be some way he can get around that, I would assume. Especially if it's historic, could you show like you're using the property and, generating income through it and keeping it alive and you didn't smush it or something like that?
They could care less. I'm in Boston. I don't know about Newton, how Newton's going to treat it, but they just. I used to own a lot of college rentals, and it was incredible amount of money that was coming in. I could have survived on those 2 properties alone, but after all those rules and regulations, they come hound you and fine you and threaten you with prison and whatever. Just not worth it.
Eric, what about magazines like the Rob Report or some like high-end real estate magazine?
Yeah, I'm gonna put that down too.
Something like that. Like I said, it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a unique. It's gonna be somebody that's a historian. It's like probably got to get outside of the box of normal real estate marketing channels to get exposure into historical magazines or historical Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. There's got to be channels where and you obviously you want to look for ultra wealthy people that have that FU money that might want a place like that. And I think Jeff hit it on the head. If you had a wealthy business person that was sending their kids to school, there might be something like that comes into play.
There's one person who came from New York to look at it last week, and he's still here, and they're trying to get him to come back this weekend to look at it again.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And,
Well, I'll send good vibes.
Thank you. And he has 2 kids going to BC right now.
Oh.
So,
as far as the max, just try to get 8 to 10 grand per room, and then list. I mean, you could still do that, and like I said, some people would pay that much money. You're in Boston in a very nice area, so it wouldn't be uncommon to get that. People pay more than that for rent in some of these penthouses we do, and they're not nearly this nice.
Yep. Hey, Scott.
So, have you ever thought about offering owner financing? If you're already into it, lower the interest rate, have somebody buy it for a higher premium.
Yeah, it's on the listing, and we even have a seller's commission of $25K on top of the regular split. So so we have 20, it's on the listing of 25,000 to the seller agent. I'm sorry, buyer agent. I meant to say buyer agent.
So you're already doing outside thinking.
Oh, good, Scott. And then Blake.
Yeah, I was just saying he's already doing outside thinking, because sometimes it's, you said people standoffish, obviously the interest rates on that dollar amount is huge. So if you're willing to, cut it down a little bit and then hold a note, but you'll be able to sell it for more money,
Gladly.
but
yeah,
stinks.
it's the weirdest thing. Not one offer.
Blake.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of creative ways to get the New England elite upper crust in that house, and I'm just wondering if there's got to be some swanky charities in that area that might be willing to host a fundraiser or some kind of like a charity auction or something, and then boom, the surprise item is the house itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking, yeah, exactly. Good one, man. I was thinking I was gonna pop on and say something like that. Like, I mean, Christmas is coming up, so if you could have a kick-ass Christmas function to some high-end charity, country club, right? Golf course, someone, like if you reach out to someone and go, hey man, we have a killer deal in this house. Here's what we're gonna offer. Here's what the thing is. We're gonna donate this. We're gonna give this, just to get people in there.
Yeah.
And then you just talk to them.
Definitely.
And you make sure you're there and just, shake some hands and like, hey, this is a great, this is a steal of a house. It's for sale. It could be rented. Like you could buy out my lease from me from the bank, so on and so forth.
Someone's gonna do really, really well if they scoop this up. It's just.
I was gonna say that I feel like that's what's gonna somebody was gonna scoop it up, and then a year from now they're gonna sell it for like 7.5 or something.
Yeah,
it seems like it's a short term. It's a short term pinch.
Yeah. So the things I didn't mention is the house has smart house, 9 zones of heating and cooling, state of the art heat, and every single window was removed out of the house and sent to Connecticut. And they took the old windows, cut it in half, put in low E glass, slapped it together, and installed it. 146 of them. The house.
Eric,
yeah.
Brother, could you mind posting a PDF, the shareable, either the link or whatever in the WhatsApp group? I think if we also just all of us start sharing it to people.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
I mean, because worst case, I know a couple of higher end real estate people that's like, yo, dude, buy this for 5. Maybe me and 4 other people go in on it. We each put in a 1.5, and then we hold the carrying costs or whatever and try to do whatever to get you out of it so that you're happy.
Yeah.
And then we try to sell it for 7.5, 2-3 years later.
Yeah. For the purposes of this group, I will literally walk away for 5 even right now, so
sure.
It's literally
because it's just putting a big stress on you, right?
Oh my God, it's no stress, just challenge, right, Brian?
Eric is actually he's very good about controlling his mindset and
becoming a pro.
Yeah.
No stress.
Yeah, throw that in the throw any shareables 100% like in our WhatsApp group, because I'll start posting it around also just to see if I can get anyone.
I have a list of all the public. It's on many news channels. I'm going to put everything in one big thing and I'll send it over, and you can pick and choose. Yeah.
Cool. Eric, if it needs to be emailed, you can email all that to Valerie and she'll get it out to all of us.
Okay. It's on there's a separate Wikipedia page about it.
Oh, Jesus.
I swear to God, it's crazy. It's called the Hammond House, and there's a history behind it. The Hammond family owned all of Massachusetts. This area, the land originally went all the way to Cambridge. They owned the Cambridge all the way. It was thousands and thousands of acres owned by the Hammond family. It's crazy.
Did you contact them to buy it back?
They're all dead.
Yo, Eric, what's the appraisal?
Well, even 3 years ago, it was 4.5.
Well, do we have one recently?
I haven't. We should do one.
Can we get an appraisal, dude? Because bro, I'm 75% sure that if you can get it appraised at 6 and you're willing to sell it for 5.3, I could find a buyer.
It'll come in. It'll blow past 6. It's
well, dude, the higher above 6, the easier I could facilitate.
100%. That's, you know what, I haven't thought about doing it. I'm gonna do it right
Because
away.
then we list it as a sheet and just go, yo, bro, I just had a really great flip, right? Like I bought it low, I put 5 in, I'm selling it for 5.5, and you can turn around. Here's the appraisal. You could sell it for 6.5, get a free, get a free cool million.
Totally.
You can
it's a matter
definitely
of
find some
finding an
type of.
investor that's not that doesn't have the juice, right? They're sitting on some cash and they can afford to park it for a minute. It's
Right.
it's the monthly juice that's gonna
Killing me.
kill somebody. But yeah, I find somebody with deep pockets that it's basically a pretty low risk flip. As long as somebody can just afford to maintain it, that's all.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that's really all it is like it's already been flipped. So it's just like you guys have already, you've already done all the work, and we just got to find a nice wholesaler, someone that has, I mean, really just someone that has 5.5 million of cash sitting around. They buy it, they sit on it, they rent it out, they collect some cash, whatever, and then they sell it for 7.
That's a good point. Yeah, if somebody
100%.
just bought it cash or whatever because it's sitting around, they rented it for 25 grand a month.
Yeah.
They don't have to, they don't have to get the 40 or the 50. So that's a really good point. They could
Yeah.
short term. There's a lot of athletes
I
that come to
think-
Boston too.
I
So
think that I'm in the weeds and my clarity is gone now, and I'm not that's a great idea. Great idea. I'm just in the weeds and I can't think anymore.
Hey, it's all good, man. That's what we're here for.
that's why we're here. No, that's why we're here. This is
Yeah.
a good example for everybody because I'm the one that asked Eric. I'm like, hey, I know you got that challenge. Would you like a hot seat? So I want you guys to be thinking about that. If you have a challenge, like raise your hand. It's a big reason why the group's here. And look at all the ideas that are coming out.
Awesome.
Eric, something
Blake?
that just came to me, and then we'll do Blake. There's a lot of athletes that come to Boston.
Tons.
Tap into the groups. I don't know who rents to these people, but there's certain groups. Have you talked to Kyle Seabath about this?
No.
You should. I mean, he's the #1 realtor in the country.
Yeah,
well,
he's aware of the house, but I don't think he knows my challenges right now.
I would get on a one-on-one with him because I mean he's probably seen every type of real estate deal under the sun, and this is his jam. And he might know who rents to athletes, or maybe somebody here has a connection because
Dalton too.
What's that?
Dalton too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalton would be a good one.
Oh, man. All right,
Think about athlete. Yeah, he'll probably know some of the groups that rent to athletes that are coming in for a couple of years. That looks like an athlete's home to me.
Yeah, Eric, Brian, that's a good point. I have a friend who works with actually a bunch of the Bruins guys. As their financial advisor, and assuming they're the better guys who make more money, that could be a good fit. I'll make the introduction if he thinks it was a fit.
That's awesome.
No, that would be perfect because it could be one introduction to the next too, right? It could be somebody that knows somebody. That's the power of the group.
That's awesome.
Blake?
And the Red Sox will be signing a few free agents coming in too, not to mention the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a good time of year for sure.
Blake?
Yeah, so we started doing vacation rentals in Vegas in 2009, luxury vacation rentals. Had to do it kind of under the radar because there was a moratorium, basically code enforcement prohibited short-term rentals of any less than 31 days. Ultimately, we marketed enough, we'd gotten enough infractions from code enforcement that they put us in a position where we had to sell one. And then the other, what we decided to do was to create 10 fractions of it. Ultimately sold 5 of them to another investor. He used it when he'd come to Vegas, he'd host little parties there. And we kind of did the same with the 5 fractions that we retained. So just a little bit of backstory, and maybe this isn't the most direct route to getting you out of that property, but trying to find 6 people with $1 million who wanted to buy a 6th share of the property and be able to use it for their own purposes, 1/6 of the year, 2 months out of the year.
Yep.
That's good. That's a good play.
It's kind of I was piggybacking off of what Jeremy said with finding multiple guys to come together and kind of carry the cost for a little while until they could realize some appreciation and liquidate. But maybe somebody wants to hold.
Because I think one marketing piece, Eric, is just the marketing perspective is market it as a really, really good flip for someone else. You bought low, you did what you need to do, did all of your numbers correct, and you sold for, you can sell for 5.5 or 6, and someone can buy it from you, cash, rent it out, do whatever, and then sell it for 7 and here's the appraisal. If you frame it that way, I feel like you'd be able to find someone a lot easier almost to do that.
I want to do the appraisals. The next thing I do after this meeting is yeah, no, it's just, yeah, definitely.
Well, like you said, when you're in something, sometimes you just get in the weeds, and that's the point of having all these other points of view. Trey Roth is not on here, but Scott was saying one of the investors with Yaystack is one of the owners of the Red Sox, potentially. So maybe reach out to Trey and schedule a chat with him, because he has a few athletes that are investors in his in Yaystack. And again, those channels might lead to, okay, who does, what's the group that rents or leases to professional athletes when they come to Boston? I think that's a good channel.
Awesome. Yep.
This is it's good. A lot of great ideas. Anybody else? Any ideas, connections? Real
stop right after this. We can get to the appraisal group right away.
Definitely. Thank you. It'd be a great party for the Elite 100. You guys want to come to Boston and hang out?
Gonna say we won't go to Florida. We're gonna go to Boston.
Yeah, it's Brian.
Brian, do you know when the next meetup is? Because I'm new. I don't have that data yet.
It's March 20 to the 24th. We have it tentatively scheduled.
Correct.
And I believe it'll be in South Florida.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
We had 3 separate events that the least we had at least 220 to almost 275 people in the house, and it ate them up like they didn't exist.
Holy cow, it's a big place.
Yeah, it's
it'll go. We get a lot of good ideas here, so I think it's just holding the energy and working with that one partner too. You got to get him on the same page, and I would let him know that you just had a mastermind. You got a dozen new ideas and new channels, and get him on the same frequency.
I did.
Are you able to buy out that other partner, Eric?
Certainly, everybody's ready. Yeah, they want to. Yeah.
Got you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Recommendations or connections? So Eric, you want to get with Jeff Rubin, get with Trey.
I got them all here.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Awesome, everybody. Well, that's
Thank you.
That's a hot seat, and you can see I think a lot of great ideas. Got the energy back up. That thing should be gone in no time, and we'll be popping bottles with Eric here. In the meantime, send some love every day for Eric and his project and his family. Make sure to include him in your prayers in the morning and at night. Everything helps. So love and appreciate you all. Thanks for pouring.
Thank you.
Eric. Sure, he's grateful as well.
Big time.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Yes, have a great day.